surprised because this, we as managing to our students. We wrote a few interventions that we are going to initiate, recommended. Say that it's also surprising, and we have seen like the with our male students, but I'm surprised that now, because data does not lie, that the male and the female are actually at par. Again, another thing that we thought was, and we have been using that as a premise to make interventions, was that it is more of a problem with the public as opposed to the private. Again, results have shown something very, very different. And in our university, we had already started various interventions, and we have established a wellness center. We have regulations, and before a student is sent away because of abusing drugs, we actually get in touch with the guardian or the parent. And we allow them 1 week to go through counseling support, and they know that we are also available to support them. And there are many other interventions that we have put in place, including including what we call a mental wellness month. So the whole of May, we actually do that. Several seminars with experts from the US and our collaborators. But what this research has done, it has given us impetus, it has given us data, and it has also told us now that NACADA has entered into our space, we are very, very confident that with your support and with your experience, we'll be able to safeguard and salvage our young people and our potential employers and our potential people that will actually get into the labor market. Thank you for this opportunity, and congratulations again. Let's not pack this data, let's go out there. And I'm so happy to the members of the fourth estate because we are partners in this. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Professor. Members, can we appreciate Professor again? Chief guest, allow me also briefly to call the representative of the Vice Chancellor of African Nazarene University, Dr. Simon Obwato, to give his remarks. Anu.
The chief guest, Honorable Onesmus Murkomen, Dr. Reverend Stephen Mairori, the chairman, NACADA Board of Directors, Mr. Douglas Kanja, Inspector General, all the Vice Chancellors, the CEOs present, members of the Fourth Estate, greetings to you all. I'm standing here a little bit disturbed by the findings, and very, very particularly, number one, as a representative of a private university, and secondly, as a lecturer. I'm told the lecturers are the ones supplying some of these things in some villages somewhere in Western region. I'm also Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic and Student Affairs of African Nazarene University, as you've heard. So this is not a very good moment for me, but I want to believe that data speaks, and when data speaks, we have to listen. Isn't it? When data speaks, we have to listen. There is reason for that. Let me say that I stand here to represent our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Stanley Mahosi Bebe, and African Nazarene University. As you have seen, even the skit that was presented, although it was cut short, that was a skit presented by our students. our students are so alive and awake to the realities of some of these things. I wish to take this moment to commend NACADA for this critical research. Indeed, this study is going to inform a lot of future studies, policies. I believe this is quite an opportunity. I'm thinking about the methodology that has been used, and as a researcher myself, I am impressed, and on behalf of African Nazarene University, I'm speaking in low tone that I'm giving NACADA an A+ for that study. That's a well-articulated study, and I think instead of arguing and defending ourselves, it's important that we take up the responsibility and we move on to challenge this issue. However, I also noted that the the religious aspect comes in to really moderate the situation, and I think that's an important element that we need to bring out. Also, something else that is very important, the 300-meter, outside of these universities, it's important that we think about how we are going to take care of this situation so that the private housings around the universities are taken care of. I think there's one thing that I would like to emphasize, and probably this will inform future studies. When we talk about drugs, we are not simply talking about addiction and all these things. We are also talking about the well-being of the students. Please note, and anyone who works in any university will agree with me, today in 2025, if you discover a certain student is doing drugs, remember, it is about also their mental well-being. You don't take it up and start vilifying that student. You have to approach it with a redemptive perspective. So remember, it is your responsibility. You don't vilify the student. How did they begin taking the drugs? Where were you as an institution when they started? I know there is also the issue of the society. And remember, students are an extraction of the society. So even studies as we go into the future have to focus on that. Let me make one important request. Even as we move into the future, I would like to request for increased funding in this area. And I know really there are challenges in terms of need for funding in different sectors of the economy. But this is a very important area because of one thing. Because drugs are indeed affecting the economic and social progress and success of our country. So we have to focus in these things. If we can deal with this, I'm sure economic growth can be attained in this country, because again, it's affecting the young people. This is the productive population. One last word, because again, I wouldn't want to take too much time. I would wish to urge the universities, if we could come together as universities. Remember, the VC of KU has just spoken. They have their own situation. But are we speaking to each other so that we can generate a situation where we can share the data, we can share experiences, and we can grow together? So those will be my remarks, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Please clap for yourselves for finding time to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Can we give Daktari another round of applause? Chief guests, All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity now to hand over the program to the NACADA CEO, Dr. Anthony Merikwa, to make progress. Karibu Daktari.
Thank you very much, Obura. Without further ado, it is my humble duty to invite my chairman, Dr. Reverend Mairori, to give us his address. Thank you.
Our CS, Inspector General, and all our guests that have been invited, let me take this opportunity to do a quick introduction of our board before I'll share my speech. So if the board members can just come here to be seen and to be known. Karibuni, board members. If there's a microphone, just tell us your name and which institution. So, okay, to Pale. Yeah.
My name is Anjeri Mathu. I'm the Vice Chair of the NACADA Board of Directors.
Reverend Goge, NACADA Board Director, and also the National Chairman of Association of Pentecostal and Evangelical Clergy of Kenya, APEC.
Good morning. Dr. Josephine Etenyi, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, alternate to the PS.
Good morning. My name is Veronica Okoth, representing the PS National Treasury in the board.
Good morning. I'm Samuel Laboso, the Director Anti-Narcotics, and I'm representing our Inspector General in the board of NACADA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Antonio Merikwa again, board member and secretary to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate our board members. Chair, this is an expanded board. We have, our CS, we have 15 board members. Several of them, because of other duties, are not here today. But since we do two critical functions, we have others like research, but the two supply suppression and demand reduction. And today, CS, with your permission, we do have the Inspector General of Police, who is actually a very key partner in the supply suppression part. I've had quite some meetings with him, and I'm very pleased that CS is working with us on this matter, and we are very, very, very grateful. So allow me, sir, to invite the Inspector General just to say a few words, and then we'll proceed. Tumkaribishe Inspector General wetu aje atusalamie. Karibu sana. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Daktari, rafiki yangu. Our CS, Honorable Murkomen, the NACADA Chair, NACADA board members, the media fraternity, the members of the Fourth Estate, the university,
Kenyans registered
and the wider Ministry of Interior, and I'm sure our CS will speak to that. We are working with everybody to ensure that drugs are rooted out in our country. Remember, there before, in our country, it used to be a transit country, but now we are also consuming. And that is exactly what we have seen through the research findings. So we need to redouble our efforts so that we can actually be able to deal with this issue, especially to ensure that our youth, our future, is actually kept away from drugs menace. On our part, in the National Police Service, we have the Anti-Narcotics Drugs Unit, which is domiciled in the DCI. When I took over as the Inspector General, I had the realization that drugs was a major issue. We decided that we need to enhance the capability of the Anti-Narcotic Drugs Unit so that it can actually be able to assist and work closely with others, including NACANDA and others, to ensure that we root out this issue. We have done it. We are on our trajectory. And this one also came out very, very strongly in our strategic plan that was launched around 1.5 months ago by none other than the President, that the issue of drugs was also featured, and it features very, very prominently in the National Police Service. And there is a way we want to work with everybody. We have actually decided that we want to enhance the capability of the Anti-Narcotics Drugs Unit to the levels of the Anti-Terror Police Unit. So that we enhance it. And we are moving in that direction together with everybody here, including NACANDA, and the other donors who are like-minded with us. And we are working so that we can be able to have a very, very strong team, because we believe that some of the proceeds from these drugs also go to finance terrorism. So our teams are well-funded, they are well-resourced, they are well-equipped, they are well-trained officers who can actually be able to do that. So we are on that trajectory, and we are ready and willing to work with everybody in that direction. So that is actually our commitment in that direction. And I want to give maybe a small story. Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Kenya Police Service, I think way back in 2023, somebody said that there is a new sheriff in town, and we need to pocket him quickly, which was loud and clear. He said, number one, can be able to mess up with our youth. I would never I did call all my teams, all the regional commanders actually, who are responsible for our regions within the and within a short time, the major drug dealer actually was arrested at the institutions of higher learning actually, because that was actually the areas that, and that research finding vindicates me. So since then, we have never round her back in town. He was nominated by the President as the Inspector General. wrote a letter rejecting my nomination because bank from Ethiopia all the way to Nairobi. I had the knowledge because policing is through intelligence. And my youth, I will never be party and partial to that. And with those few remarks, let me say thank you. Thank you very much.
Cabinet Secretary. It is an honor and a 2024. This report marks institutions of higher learning are protected from the dangers of drugs over core responsibilities is to conduct and disseminate research that provides critical insights into the patterns, drivers, and the impact. If we do not act decisively, we risk losing the entire generation to addiction, mental health challenges, and wasted potential. This is why today's launch is not just a presentation of data, it is an action, it is a call to action. At this juncture, I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the esteemed institutions that play a crucial role in this study, including University of Nairobi, United States International University, Africa, Moi University, Garissa University, African Nazarene, Kisii University, Laikipia University, Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, Great Lakes University of Kisumu, Pwani University, Mount Kenya University, Southeastern Kenya University, Chuka University, Dedan Kimathi University of Science and Technology. Additionally, I extend my deep gratitude to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, KNBS, for their invaluable support in data analysis and report compilation. A special note of appreciation goes to NACADA management led by the CEO, Dr. Mirikwa, for the successful initiation, implementation, and conclusion of the study. Let's appreciate all our stakeholders, and thank you, CEO and your team, for a great job well done. As NACADA, we are committed to ensuring that the findings and recommendations from this report inform our policies, programs, and interventions targeting university students. This is not just about statistics, it's about lives, it's about dreams, and the future of our nation. As I close, allow me to appreciate our chief guest. Your presence here, sir, is a testimony of your love for the youth of this nation. You have many things in your schedule, but the fact that when we invited you, you said, I will be here today, and you came, we greatly appreciate. So let's appreciate our CS for that. And we want to thank you for gracing this occasion. And again, I want to appreciate, as I had said earlier, the IG. We've had many consultations, and we look forward to even working together. Ladies and gentlemen, this day is the day for our CS, and we want to give him time to speak to us. And
Thank you very much, Chair. Please be seated. Thank you. Our Chair of the Professor Washike Wanjoy, DVC University, Dr. Simon Obwato, the Board of NACADA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. I'm Jambo. First of all, I'm really honored and privileged to have been invited to this very important launch. And I am very happy to see that the universities are playing a critical role, and they are doing a very good job in informing disease research. Because we do not want to crop in the dark, guessing we want to do. As in furtherance of this research, I want to raise your hand. Have close family members, yeah? It's a national problem. It's a serious national problem. I always I conversed with the person next to me, my friend here, when we are sitting with the political leaders, whether at the highest level or even nucleus family members who are struggling with alcohol. So this is it's the greatest threat to the well-being of our country. It's a national security issue. The well-being of our country is drugs and substance abuse. So when we are here, this function, as you should, and I thank the for saying that the relevant department needs to be upscaled to the level of anti-terror unit, because than the people we lose every day because of drugs, alcohol, and as serious as it should. I thank my friend Wanyama Chebusiri, who spoke about only his village. And we cannot really, that does not deserve to be reduced to us to make sure that we take this thing very serious. And as and you saw the IG speak here, as the Inspector General of the Republic of Kenya, to signify the fact that we take this thing seriously nationally, and the government of Kenya does not target and people who have failed in the past to make money because to fight alcohol are cheapening this situation. And this is very... I want to say that my speech. University life is a transformative journey, as we all know. It's a time of self-discovery, intellectual exploration, but it's also a time of vulnerability. The need to perform well in the meeting can sometimes lead to our youth down. It is therefore with concern that I stand before you today as we launch the report on the status of drugs and substance abuse among universities, which was done in 2024. It's a mirror reflecting the sad reality, a wake-up call to our nation and a roadmap to action. Release of the Kenya Certificate national examinations, thousands of young Kenyans have to transition to universities, a pivotal is a testament to our collective commitment to safeguarding the future of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the findings of this report from 17 universities sampled are both enlightening and alarming. They reveal that 45.6% of university students have used at least one drug or a substance in their lifetime. Even more alarming is that 26.6% of our university students are currently using this substance. Alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, khat, and even emerging substances like methamphetamine and codeine syrup are finding their way into the life of our students. We often think of drugs and substance use as an issue that predominantly affects men. But the reality demonstrated by this report shows that the female university students are also becoming increasingly more vulnerable. A reminder to us that addiction knows no gender. And this is very sad because this is not the gender equality we were looking for. It was not a gender equality in sharing drugs together. We must urgently address the unique challenges our young women face and ensure that they are not left behind in this fight. I know that NACADA is a step ahead on, on this through provision of free rehabilitation to female clients at the Miritini Drug Rehabilitation Center. Let me just say this a little bit because I have been a university teacher before. It is true that this report is very, very true. And it's not something that just happened in 2024. It has been true for a very long time. And it is also true that our staff in the university, including lecturers, present or former, contribute immensely to the distribution of drugs in the university and alcohol. In fact, it is true that lecturers intentionally invite students for going out and buying alcohol intentionally. I know some of you have since graduated, but it is true that your lecturers took you out and they bought you alcohol. So as a matter of fact, many young students, and especially female students, become victims of the same. In fact, it goes, one of the most prevalent, and I think, is it NACADA or now who, but even if it's not confined to your mandate, another study should be done about sexual abuse in the university, and particularly taking advantage of young girls by those who are supposed to take care of them, and sex for marks and all those kind of things. Those evil things we have condoned for far too long in the university are catching up with us. And it is important for all of us to make sure that we face these challenges head on. And it's very good to have a vice chancellor who is a lady vice chancellor here, and I believe take up also in the university. And let's not hide it under the carpet. I know professors who used to harass students, and they never really, and some students never graduated because they never fell into their out of the disciplinary action. There is a problem with our universities, and we must start running universities as proper institutions, universities that can respond to this challenge, and we must face it. And I speak as your former colleague. Let me say this. The other problem about this orientation to university is that the students, by the time they're joining university, this period between high school and joining university, and they are policing by the teachers at the high school, and the absence of parental care between high school and joining the university is a very dangerous period, because the students leave high school and they have not been prepared for this freedom, and they get home and their parents don't have time, or they don't have the capacity to look after them, or they don't have and they have not been trained to do so, or they are just negligent. The students arrive, and now they are suddenly free with gadgets and ability to access their friends. So this period is dangerous, because by the time they're joining first year, a number of them for the first time have been introduced to this substance abuse in between. But then when they join the university, they find a university that does not have, first of all, there is no orientation. What I went through as a first year was not an orientation at all. In fact, I must say that I never got to know even what was a course outline. Forget about the other issues. Even somebody to tell you a course outline means you can study on your own, and this is what it means. Just a basic information. And for my 4 years in the university, I never interacted with anybody who told me that you can have stress in life. And you need, it was, why would you be stressed? You are a university student, It was rather obvious. There was only one department of the Dean of Students, and that's at the University of Nairobi, and the Dean of Students was in main campus. So those of us who are in Parklands were at the mercy of the caretaker of the residents there. And so you were on your own for the entire period. Even students who lose their loved ones, had to just take care of themselves or be looked after by the students. And if they were members of Christian Union, or they were members of the YCS or a religious organization, that's why the study is very true. Those students who find themselves busy, either in the CU, they are going for, in fact, CUs and the Christian organizations in campus play an extremely important role in distracting students from accessing these drugs. Because, and that's why I'll want to make a case for the next point, which is that in the absence of a department in a university, poorly funded, with 1 or 2 staff, because the university is concentrating on, we are teaching students, and therefore we want a lecturer who teaches engineering, teaches law, teaches medicine, but they don't realize that the well-being of the student outside this class session. So the university environment nowadays does not have a counseling department. If they have, there are very few people. They don't reach out to the students. So the gap was only filled by these social groupings, and particularly the CU, because how does the CU do so? And I'm biased because I'm a former CU chair. And I speak for the CU, the YC. and the other groups, because you are going for Sunday service as a CU, you have maybe a Tuesday, prayer session, or you have a Bible study on Tuesday. On a Wednesday you have something. On a Saturday and you're all, and you are visiting each other in the rooms and so if you have a small problem here, you feel you are part of a family. The same to the and the other grouping. And therefore, that as themselves. One of the gaps that was filled then for some of us was the what we call Fellowship of Christian Unions. Then, some campus staff would come, reach out to you, and there were very few of them, and now they are also overstretched. You must, as universities, provide ways of filling this gap. And you must not continue looking at counseling and looking after the students as part of the university with properly hired staff who are looking at and put as part of the budget of the students. If we don't do so, we will come back to these statistics again. Stressed way after I left school. Yeah, way after I was feeling my stomach, I was getting tired, I was bad. Then I was told there's something called stress. Being stressed is ostracized. You are not allowed to be stressed as a young person. What's wrong with you? You should be enjoying life. And so mental health here, that these findings call us to do something about the well-being of our students in the university. We must urgently address the unique challenges that these young people are going through. The revelation that female students across the universities are having higher prevalence of moderately severe 6.4% and severe 4.1% depressive disorders compared to their male counterparts 5.2% and 3% respectively is a matter of concern to the future of the girl child. As revealed in this report, alcohol was the most available substance among the students at 87.3%, followed by cigarettes 64.4% and shisha 41.2%. Of these students, we are left with one big question. How can we curb availability of this substance? This calls for our deliberate and collaborative effort in the fight against drug and substance abuse. Again, availability of alcohol in the school environment. I don't think you will succeed to ban alcohol in the university. And I don't think it will be easy. And I don't think students are suffering because of good alcohol. Okay, as a pastor, I don't know what's good alcohol, but I know something about it. Yeah? Most of the students who are addicted in the university is not because they are drinking beer. Let me say so, because we had a long discussion in the cabinet about when more taxes on certain alcohol and reducing others. I don't think beer is one of the cause of addiction in the university. No. I believe that the real cause of addiction is the cheap alcohol, this ethanol that students are being sold to, very cheap in those small bottles. And I don't know, the latest one is called something, I don't know. There's one that is coming through Uganda that has an interesting name. It's called, yeah? Not Waragi, I'm talking about some of these small bottles, very cheap. Sachets that are being sold around here. Those are the ones. Spirits and these others, funny alcohol here, are the ones that are causing more problem. Why don't we ban those ones first from anywhere near the university and designate the canteens to say you can only sell certain level of alcohol. If you are selling beer from EABL, it will mean, as one of them, I'm not marketing for EABL, but it will mean it's expensive, fairly. A student cannot afford to do four bottles, 5 bottles of the same, you know. We can also put regulations in the university to say, once a student has been established to be addicted, you cannot sell alcohol to that student. And that information will be made available to the canteen, that this student is so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so, and you can't sell alcohol to these students. Yeah, it is possible. Under rehab, we provide the rehabilitation mechanism. There must be a conversation around this issue. Because if you tell people you will completely ban alcohol in this area, what will happen is that they will go look. You will actually create a demand underground for more dangerous and cheaper substances and make them get high very fast. The report further revealed that friends contribute 66.4% of sources of drugs, with evidence showing university students being involved in the supply and sale of drugs and drug substance. This is a wake-up call to our children to be careful with friends. We parents should also endeavor to know our children's friends. Sorry to be off many times, but we know students that have been in the university forever. Yeah, at the University of Nairobi, they have been in the previously notorious students who never finished school. And they're very rich. And they are doing no business. And extremely influential. And they are in the leadership of the student leadership. So you have that line of students. We must be able to investigate why a student is not leaving school, you know? Or delaying their finishing their school, or, you know, in many other of these universities, we must take deliberate effort to make sure that we deal with those type of students because of the business they are doing around. And IG, I think you need to strengthen, we need to strengthen all the police stations that are operating near the universities, whether it's Central Police in Nairobi here, or in Rongai near the university, Nazarene University, or the one near KU, with deliberate efforts, interagency within the police, to see how we can integrate these investigations. You know, in the past, we were told, I don't know, we used to be told when I was at the university, that, you know, some of these students are not students. Yeah? They are police officers. They are busy. The IG to make sure that we and the police officers and all the team, we get proper intelligence, cannabis and heroin and cocaine, among others. Again, thank you very much. Again, as parents, unfortunately, these are parents of my generation and slightly older, kidogo. Unfortunately, we can't bring our children up, of us who are brought up. Yeah, where you say, I said bye to my parents in Mbobut Forest, and they don't know what you are doing until they know that after 4 years they must come for graduation. They don't know what supplementary, they don't know anything. Yeah, you can't do that. We have to monitor to know where their children. People thought it's political. It is not. As must do something different. Know our children, know their friends, know what they do, and so that we do not regret when they are eventually addicted. Whereas technology has come as a boon, aiding access to academic, also revealed that there was an increased use of online platforms and websites for promoting the sale and use of drugs and substance. As a government, we shall not allow this to continue. Anywhere is a crime everywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's committed online or offline. Children's future by peddling drugs, the anti-narcotics unit within the Directorate of Criminal Investigations must therefore up their game in their enforcement of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substance abuse. And I thank you very much, and I thank you, IG, for confirming that we are going to strengthen. It's important that we do so, and we must psychotropic substance, abuse of psychotropic substance to the level of anti-terror. To do their job, it's our duty as government and as the police department to make sure that we are doing everything possible. And I want to thank you, IG. The operation that was done recently by the National Police in Marsabit was in Marsabit and Isiolo. I saw some people the other day saying, oh, some young people have been arrested because the president visited Isiolo. We don't play with national security. We are very serious people. And I told you that once we sit here, we know what's happening in our country. There have been criminals from the Oromo Liberation group that have been bringing drugs from neighboring countries. And they have been hiding somewhere in Marsabit and Isiolo. A number of the people we arrested who are aiding them, including professionals like doctors, who have been arrested, who've been helping facilitate these criminals in their activities, criminal activities, but also in selling the drugs that they have. A lot of bang was confiscated from them. And we arrested so many of them. And that's why when we say we need support of the media, when it comes to crimes like this that are affecting about what is happening in our country. Leaders, including county officials that were arrested, will face the full. And I must say this, and leaders who are hiding behind by mobilizing young people, giving them alcohol, and asking them to come and heckle meetings, and dragging them to make sure that they do so on their behalf. We are coming for you. And when we say we are coming for you, we mean it. Where politicians coming to a funeral of a person they don't call anything, they don't even know, they have absolutely no relationship. Family that is mourning. Because of your political competition, you know, you're asking weekend, where is the biggest funeral around? Who has died somewhere? You start organizing young people, give them drugs, give them alcohol, bring them to a funeral that living there to cause mayhem and fights. And you've seen they have recorded statements. The governor of recorded a statement. You saw the former CS recording a statement. And everybody will be held into account. We cannot continue allowing this country, because of their position, to use our young people to destroy the state. We will not compromise any person and this kind of behavior, the future of our country, for the sake of votes. You can stay with your votes, but you will rot in jail. We will make sure that you take the responsibility that you must take. Therefore, the National Authority for the Campaign Against the Alcohol and Drug Abuse under my ministry, which has been at the forefront of coordinating the multi-sectoral fight against this menace, must also step up their efforts. It is not just a fight for sobriety, it's a fight for the soul of our nation. Alcohol and drug abuse threatens our security, undermines development, erodes the health and potential of our youth. We therefore and see our youth, the pride and the future of our nation, get derailed by harmful substance, let me be unequivocal. The government is fully committed to this fight. Our national government administration, officers, NGAOs, with other multi-agency team, have firm instructions to implement His Excellency the President's directive on eradicating illicit brews and other harmful substances across the country. We will not waver, we will not relent, and we will not bow to any pressure from those who profit from the destruction of our youth. This is a battle we must win, and win decisively. To the parents and the guardians here today, your role cannot be overstated. Your child may now be at the university, but they still need your guidance, support, and love. Be present in their lives. Ask about their studies, their friendships, and their well-being. Show them the way that they have, and show them that they are valued and supported by the family. Be vigilant for the warning signs, a drop in academic performance, withdrawal from the social activities, mood swings, or secretive behavior. This could be the red flags. If you notice them, don't hesitate to have an open and honest conversation with your child. Remember, your involvement could be. We have been told, because I attend also parental classes, that we must talk to our children, including asking them who is their girlfriend now, who is their boyfriend. You must now live to the reality of the time. Our days, your father cannot contemplate asking you something even close to that. In fact, in the village where I came from, if your father sees you walking with a lady, he will pretend he saw something on the other side, and he will change route and course. You are not allowed to be anywhere walking with a girlfriend. Now it is unfortunate that these are new times. We can't raise our children the way our parents raised us. We must have an honest conversation and to show and to understand what they are doing. To the university administrators and faculty, you are not just educators, you are custodians of our future. Your institutions must be safe havens where students can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. I urge you to prioritize prevention programs, create substance-free social space, and provide wellness-focused activities. Provide sports activities, you know. I just came from the sports ministry. My dream was then, and still is, that the university become the center of sports excellence in the country. And please provide those activities for young people, opportunities for them to run, places for them to play football, to basketball. I personally never realized that I was in fourth year, to be very honest. From the day I joined first year, I was in the Christian Union, I was in student politics, I was in the football team of the university, I was in the debating moot court team, I traveled all over the country, to preach all over the country. I traveled out of the country for seminars and workshops. Then I realized at some point it is fourth year. In fact, the day I left school, I realized everything I owned within school was not mine, including the school mattress. I actually almost begged that, can I be given this mattress to go with? Because the first day we went out and with my friends, we slept on the floor. It was the second day that we looked for a mattress, we changered a mattress. So let me say this. The university must be an interesting place for our young people. Idleness will create an opportunity for drugs and drug abuse. We must make sure that somebody is playing some role somehow in some activity and busy, whether it is Rotary Club or something, or they are in Red Cross or volunteering in St. John Ambulance or something, so that then we can keep them as busy as possible and make the university more interesting and make their grading even more interesting with extracurricular activities, and we look for those activities. Equally important is ensuring that students struggling with addiction can seek help without fear of stigma or judgment. Let us build universities that nurture not just minds but also character and resilience. The idea that you expel a student because they are addicted may have to be revisited. Yeah, because I have now grown up and I've been told that addiction is a disease like any other disease. Instead of expelling them, you have to find ways of making sure that they are treated because they're looking for treatment. So there is a whole, focus on change of mind to make sure that this sector, the choices you make today will shape your future. Drugs, your health, your dreams, and your potential. Employers today are not just looking for academic. By choosing a drug-free lifestyle, you are not only protecting your health, but also building a. This report are a call to action for all of us, parents, educators, police. Let us unite in this fight to create a sober, healthy, and prosperous nation. The university management and the relevant stakeholders should roll out deliberate and sustained drug and substance abuse prevention interventions, including programs tailored to the needs of vulnerable population. There is also a need for to play an active role in the prevention of drug abuse. This includes bringing on board other programs used among students. I urge NACADA to continue in this journey in collaboration with the university management to leverage social media and other online platforms to reach the students with tailored prevention programs and factual messaging to counter myths, misinformation, misconception related to DSU. Further, I direct NACADA in collaboration with the university leadership to explore strategies of implementing a raft of recommendations that have come from this report to address this menace. You have our full support to this end. To our youth, I say this: your future is in your hands. Choose your friends wisely, stay focused, and prioritize your well-being. By doing so, you are not just investing in your success, but also in the future of Kenya. Thank you very much. I also think that and the religious institutions have a very strong role to play, and we'll support you. But also, the report that the CEO, in the CEO remarks, you saw he mentioned that Gen Z campaign together with, Meanwhile, religious leaders were sitting somewhere saying, our children occupy everywhere. Let me tell you something. They will occupy that church. You remember in that campaign, they were beginning to say, kila mtu aombe Mungu yake. Kila mtu aombe online. Soon, you'll have our churches as empty as the churches we see in Europe. And then we will not have centers for taking care of these young people. Let's do this. Well, and we are glorifying it. You are glorifying it and calling our children's names. That glorification of that defiance is going to eat us in the near future. In a place, because I have really spent a lot of time. I have also another program with the IG. I hereby declare the report on substance use among university students in Kenya 2024 officially launched.
Our chief guest. We launch it first. We launch it.
Give everybody a chance. Are you ready?
So just a minute, chief guest. We will count from 5 to 1. So we're all ready. Okay, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, asante sana Bwana Waziri, asante sana. We can now step back a bit so that we can be handed the booklets. We can avail the booklets now so that the chair can hand over to the CS. And we can also give one to the CEO to hand over to the IG. Yes, we can also give one of our directors to hand over to Professor. Sorry. Let's get one. Let's get another one for the CEO. We can give other directors the copies. Okay, so now we need one for the CEO, please, kindly. CEO. Okay, so let's. Okay, so let's ensure that the right page is on the front. Thank you very much. Chief guest would request that